start a new project, we click Create New File. It's going to be single-sided. The dimensions will be 4 inches by 6 inches and 3/4 of an inch thick. We're going to work off the surface of the material, so our 0 will also be in the center. We click OK, and now it creates our material. This is a CAD/CAM program. This is the CAD, the computer-aided design. If you click here, that's the CAM, the computer-aided manufacturing. So we can go back to the design. So we want to make a rectangle with rounded edges. So our anchor point for the center of the rectangle will be in the center. We also can just come here and draw one. Control Z to erase that. But we want our X and our Y in the center position. We're going to use a 1/4 inch radius, and we're going to say create. Control Z. I want my width 1 inch. I want my height 4 inches. Create. Close. Now we want to make another profile around our square. So if we click on the vector and we come to offset, we want to go outwards, 1/4 inch offset. Close. Now we want to make a circle. Select the circle tool. It will draw it in the center with a radius or a diameter. I choose diameter of 0.25, create. Close. Now we want 4 holes in this holder. So we select the circle. We come over here to this tool, Array Copy, and we want to have 4 holes vertically, and we want to click Copy. Close. Now we want to align them to the center. Click the Align tool and center them. Close. We want to add one more profile cut, which will cut the piece out. So if we select this vector and we offset it 1/4 inch outwards, now we have an additional vector, and I can click anywhere to unselect the vectors. We can go to our toolpath, and now we can start selecting what we want to machine and what tools we want to machine it with. The first tool will be drill. So if you move the mouse over, it'll tell you what the individual icons mean. If I select that circle, hold the shift down, select the second circle, come over here, and I'm going to use the drilling toolpath. I want to have a depth of 0.5 inches, and I'm going to use an end mill. calculate, preview, close this window, click here to deselect. Now I want to select this, hold the shift down, and the last circle. Now I'm going to use the pocket tool path. This is also used when you want to make trays. The dimensions will be 1/2 of an inch. And if we wanted to change the bit here, we would say edit. Correction, that will edit that individual bit. If we want to select a different bit, these are our choices. Calculate, preview. We can come over here and rotate and move our object in 3D space. And you can click on it and it'll set it flat. Let's close this. Now we want to do a pocket, so we're going to select this vector, hold the shift down, select this vector, and now when we do a pocket, it will remove the material between the two vectors. I'm just going to come right down here and say calculate. Let's preview that. And I do not want it that deep. So I'm going to come over to this pocket and I'm just going to double click on it and I'm going to change the depth to 0.15. Calculate. We have to reset our preview. Now I can say preview all tool paths. And we look at this. It's not as deep, and that's what I want. The next thing I want to do is cut out the piece. So I'm going to select this outer vector, and I'm going to create a profile toolpath. And what this will do is it's going to cut right through the material. Our material thickness is Z plus, let me do that again, Z plus 0.02. So our thickness plus 20 thousandths, that way it'll cut all the way through. Now we need to add tabs to hold the center of the piece of wood in place so it doesn't fly out. We click Add Tabs, and now we can say Edit Tabs. So click Add Tabs, and we can add a couple more. And close. Now let's calculate. It will cut through, and that's what we want. Let's preview. And that's what it looks like. The next step is to create the G-code. So I'm going to close this. Now I'm going to go back and I'm going to rename these to something that I know. So this here is drill 1. This here is actually a pocket, but we used it as a drill. So I'm just going to say rename drill 3 and 4. And then the next was this here piece right here was a little pocket. And this here, I'm going to rename and I'm going to call that cutout. When you're at the Mogul CNC machine, you'll want to be able to identify what these files are. So I'm going to create the first tool path. I'm going to select this one and I'm going to go to Save Toolpath. Now it's going to come up and ask for the post processor. If I was at Milwaukee's Makerspace, I would be able to choose Mogul CNC, but I don't have the option to make G-code. I have to be at Makerspace. But this is how you would do it. You would select Mogul CNC and then Save Toolpath.